This is Trinity Storm, and you are watching a sad but beautiful one-shot story. What if Kushina was reanimated by Orochimaru during Chunin exam finals? If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Sarutobi breathed a sigh of relief as the coffin labeled 4 failed to function properly. Having Minato as an opponent would have resulted in his death. Ororchimaru appeared to be disappointed as well. It appears that the death god does not allow the souls he claims to summon to be summoned, which is unfortunate, Kukuku, because I was hoping to use him to wipe out all the Chunin before I took my sweet time with the others. As the Shodem and Nidaime approached, Sarutobi frowned. Ororchimaru chuckled at his sensei's cautious demeanor. I know, sensei. How about we use a substitute? Someone who will cause you equal pain to fight. Orochimaru's yellow eyes twinkled with twisted glee. He clapped his hands once more, and another coffin rose from the ground. Prepared for anything, Sarutobi wondered who it could be. Still, he was taken aback when the coffin door opened to reveal the occupant. Kami. Hiruzen's eyes widened in surprise. The wind blew red strands of hair out of the coffin. Kushina-chan, Sarutobi said, his voice filled with pain. Do you like my idea, sensei? Didn't you and Bawako-sensei consider her a daughter? Laughed Orochimaru. How do you like fighting her? You've already let her down by treating her son like trash. Sarutobi looked shocked at his student, only to meet the traitorous Sanin's teasing gaze. Was it supposed to be a big secret? Ororchimaru wondered. Sarutobi hardened his gaze and dashed to Ororchimaru, swung a staff at his student's head, who just smirked and leapt back, at a speed uncharacteristic of a man his age. So easy to provoke, sensei, Ororchimaru remarked as he landed, the two Hokage landing in front of him as shields. A man your age should know better, really. Ororchimaru frowned as he noticed Sarutobi's sensei was smiling. You're still too easy to fool, Ororchimaru, the Sandaime said. A man your age should know better, really. Before Ororchimaru realized what Sarutobi's true intentions were, the man threw a handful of explosive tags into the redhead's coffin and dragged the woman's undead form out as he leapt back. As the coffin exploded into smithereens, Ororchimaru screamed in rage. Huh? Hiruzen's eyes with black sclera blinked in confusion as he looked down in shock. Kushina-chan? The eyes blinked once more. Kushina inquired, Hokage-sama? What, where? Orochimaru resurrected you to destroy the village using the Nidaime's forbidden technique, Sarutobi explained as he helped the woman to her feet. I rescued you before he could completely control you. Resurrected? Kushina's thoughts were still hazy. Then it all went away in an instant. She went into labor that night. Having a baby. The man in the mask. The Kyuubi Kami, Minato, and her instilling Biju in their son. Naruto. Naruto, her son. Naruto, she exclaimed. Hiruzen's reaction indicated that she understood. Is fighting for his village right now, he explained. This seemed to jolt Kushina out of her trance. She frowned as she looked at Orochimaru. I'm not sure why you're trying to destroy the village, Orochimaru-san, she said, making hand seals, but you should never use this jutsu on seal masters. Orochimaru felt the small control he had over the woman's soul fade away as a web-like pattern appeared all over her body. He hissed, what did you do? Kushina's expression reminded Sarutobi of Naruto. Don't you want to know Tt Ebane? Orochimaru cursed his decision to summon the soul of the damned woman. He had forgotten that the jutsu, with all of their techniques in life, revived the souls. He swerved to avoid the chakra tail that thrashed the ground he was standing on. Kushina was covered in red, bubbling chakra that seemed to follow him around. The damned chakra chains whizzing by every few seconds didn't help. Sarutobi was now engaged in combat with the Nidaime. Kushina had somehow sealed the Shodai from the start, using some complicated Uzumaki sealing technique. The Shodai's resurrected body was now completely motionless, covered in glowing sealing runes, and, much to his chagrin, the Sandaime was actually keeping up with the second Hokage. During his distraction, the chakra tail lashed out like a whip at his chest. He could feel the chakra's evil taint burn his skin and muscle. The miasma was lethal. This body would disintegrate in a matter of days if he did not remove it. "This is pointless," he hissed, one hand resting on his bleeding chest. "For the time being, retreat." The barrier vanished in an instant, and his bodyguards rushed after him as he jumped towards the wall. Sandaime-sama. Kushina rushed over to the elderly Hokage, who was now panting heavily. Uzumaki sealing technique. 3-lock seal, she slammed into Nidaime's back. The Nidaime's body began to turn to stone as the sealing script spread from her palm. "You did well, monkey," the second Hokage said, regaining control of his features before they hardened into graphite. The Nidaime's stone statue suddenly glowed and a light shot up from it. The sealed form of the Shodai did the same. What was it? Kushina inquired, surprised. Orochimaru released the jutsu, Hiruzen panted as his Anbu approached, scanning Kushina for threats. "She's an ally," Hiruzen said, straightening up. "What is the situation?" He inquired of his Anbu general. The masked general saluted before reporting. "The enemy is in full retreat." The Sand Nin surrendered after discovering that it wasn't their Kazekage who ordered the invasion. The Sound Nin have either been killed, apprehended, or retreated with their master. The Ichibi was defeated by Uzumaki-san in the forest and is on his way back. Uzumaki-san? Kushina asked, blinking. As far as she knew, she was Konoha's last Uzumaki. He's referring to Naruto, Hiruzen explained. Kushina's eyes widened. Naruto? How come he has my clan name? Shouldn't it be? Hiruzen silenced her with a signal, and she came to a halt, perplexed. After you and the Yondaime died, the Sandaime pointed out to the other ninja who had arrived to support their Hokage, it was thought that it would be better if Naruto took on your name, lest he become a target of his father's enemies. Kushina's eyes widened in recognition. Then she remembered what the third said. So, after I and his father died, who looked after him? The Hokage's eyes darkened with sadness, filling Kushina's heart with dread. The Hokage was interrupted before he could respond by an Anbu who appeared next to him. The genin has returned, he said. Very well, Sarutobi said, nodding. I think someone would like to meet them, so lead the way to them. The Anbu nodded and leapt away, followed by the rest of the group. Sasuke tossed the Dobi's unconscious body onto an empty bed in the hospital courtyard, where non-critical patients were kept. The raven-haired boy was furiously wondering why the Dobi was being kept here instead of in the intensive care unit. Naruto should have been dead or close to it after the way he fought and the damage he took, but by the time they returned, most of the cuts on the blonde's body had healed. His breathing had returned to normal. It appeared that while the blonde slept, he healed nearly 5 times faster than medical nin could. Another thing that Sasuke was thinking about Naruto was this. How did the Dobi get so powerful? Yes, Sasuke had expected the blonde to improve from the idiot he had been in the academy over time, but this was absurd. How did the idiot end up with a summons? How did he summon such a massive summon? How could he defeat the gourd boy's transformation into a monster? How did the Dobi get so strong? Sasuke took a step back and stared at the unconscious boy, as if it were all the blonde's fault. Sakura was perplexed behind Sasuke-kun. Why had Sasuke-kun been in such a foul mood ever since she awoke from the demon's knockout? He claimed Naruto fought and defeated the Sand Beast. She was certain that Sasuke-kun was being modest because he wanted Naruto to be recognized as well. He was so sweet. Squeal. How exciting. And as for Naruto-kun? Both members of the team turned to see the most timid member of Team 8 approaching them. Is he all right? Hinata inquired. HN, grumbled Sasuke. It was safe in his mind because Hinata wouldn't squeal and try to glomp him if he responded to her. Whoa. He looks like he was put through a blender, Kiba said as he approached his teammate. Shino followed him slowly as well. Uzumaki-san appears to be improving by the second, he observed. Yeah, right. Snorted Kiba. But Sasuke could see Shino was correct. The minor scratches were actually fading right in front of his eyes. Sakura. Everyone turned to see Ino and her team approaching. How are you? Shikamaru told me you went after that demon boy. We did, Sakura said, nodding. He knocked me out and nearly killed me, but Sasuke-kun saved me and defeated the beast boy, she said, making heart-shaped eyes at Sasuke, who whipped his neck towards her and growled. How many times do I have to say it before it gets into your useless brain? He raged. His ferocious response surprised the two girls. I did not save you, he admitted. It was Naruto who defeated the Sand Boy, and it was Naruto who rescued you, not me. Naruto? Ino was taken aback. I still can't believe it. I can, said a new voice. The group turned around to see Team Guy standing nearby. To their surprise, the line was delivered by Neji. Naruto-san is strong, he said, his gaze averted to the crowd. Not just in physical strength. His will is like a mountain. Anything that hits it has to bend around it, unable to move it. Are we talking about the same guy? Snorted Ino. Naruto-kun has always been strong, Hinata said, her face flushed. Neji and Sasuke both looked up, alert. As their sensei landed next to them, the entire group tensed but relaxed. Kurenai appeared a little disheveled, but the other three Chunin appeared as usual. More ninja appeared, followed by Anbu squadrons and the Hokage himself, as well as a familiar-looking beautiful red-headed woman. When he saw the woman, Kakashi's eyes widened to the size of dinner plates, much to the surprise of Sasuke and Sakura. In surprise, Asuma's lips parted and he dropped his cigarette. Shikamaru, Neji, and Kurenai were all drawn in by this. They all looked at the woman who had elicited such a reaction from the two veteran journalists. Kushina ne-sama? Kakashi stuttered, while Asuma simply blinked like an owl. Kakashi-kun? Is that you? Kami, you're the only one who called me that, the woman was surprised. Then she grinned, and a wave of familiarity washed over the genin once more. They couldn't place it, but the woman's features reminded them of someone. In an instant, the woman was beside Kakashi, fondly ruffling the Chunin's hair. Look how grown up you've become. You're taller than me. I always said I'd end up taller than you, ne-sama, Kakashi said, his voice full of emotion. Sakura nearly died as a result of this alone. Their sensei, their completely apathetic sensei, appeared to be on the verge of crying at any moment. The woman gently drew him down and kissed his masked cheek. Kakashi's body shook as he fought back a sob. The woman took a look around. And is that Asuma-kun? The woman asked, frowning at the smoker. Did you also develop the bad habit of smoking? Sensei, Asuma choked out, stepping on his smoke stick in a futile attempt to conceal it. Shikamaru's brow furrowed. The lady appeared to be too young to be his sensei's sensei. How? Asuma inquired. The woman's smile faded, and the Sandaime Hokage's solemn voice took its place. Orochimaru used a forbidden technique to summon the souls of the dead and bind them to his will to fight for him, but that backfired on him as Kushina-chan overthrew his control and nearly sent him to his grave. The woman grinned again and flexed her muscles by tapping her biceps. That felt so good. After 6 months of mood swings and backaches, it felt great to let loose like old times. The genin was not unaffected by Asuma and Kakashi's shudders. The souls of the dead? Sasuke wondered, remembering his late parents. He'd love to meet his parents, even if he's under the influence of that jutsu. The woman's eyes widened with delight as she turned to face him. Oh, Kami, you resemble Makoto, she exclaimed. The mention of his mother's name surprised Sasuke. I know, the woman said as she smacked her fist into her palm. You're Sasuke-kun, she said as she approached him. The woman was pulling the boy's cheeks before he could react. Wow, look at how much you've grown. The last time I saw you, you peed on me, she exclaimed, much to the genin's embarrassment. By the time Kushina let Sasuke go, his cheeks were flushed. Kiba took a step back, keeping a safe distance from the strange lady. I and Makoto have always wished for you and my son to be good friends, Databane, she said with a smile. Sasuke's eyes widened, as did Neji's and Shikamaru's. Shino's brow furrowed behind his glasses. Sasuke's mind was racing. It couldn't be true. But then his mind wondered, why not? Your son? Sasuke inquired, despite knowing the answer. Yeah, Kushina nodded, her eyes widening. Of course, I came here to see my son and his teammates. I wonder how he looks now. You may recognize him. His name is Naruto. Nothing was said. The woman grinned, and everyone realized who she was reminding them of, Naruto. It was now obvious. Naruto's mother was this woman. Kiba was the first to discover his tongue. You're Naruto's mother? He asked, surprised. Kushina smiled as she turned to face him. Yeah, she said, nodding vigorously like Naruto. You seem to know him. Are you on his team? And no, Kiba said, shaking his head. They are, he said, motioning to Sakura and Sasuke. Ooh, Kushina said, clapping her hands together and turning to face the two. How nice that Sasuke-chan and Naruto-chan are both teammates. Makoto must love it. Sasuke was still trying to wrap his head around the fact that his and Dobi's mothers had been friends. Sakura, on the other hand, had to learn her manners first. Hello, Uzumaki-san, she said politely, followed by Sasuke. My name is Haruno Sakura, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Kushina bowed as well. Hello, Sakura-chan. Nice to meet you as well, and thank you for looking after Naruto while I was away. Sakura shifted uneasily. She felt guilty for not being more tolerant of Naruto in the past. She was at a loss for words when she was rescued by Neji of all people. Uzumaki-san, he said as he approached. Kushina turned to face him, while Neji locked his gaze on her. This was the ninja's mother, who had shown him that fate could be changed. He bowed his head. Please accept my heartfelt thanks. Your son has taught me an invaluable life lesson. He did? Kushina inquired, smiling. He must have inherited his father's intelligence. Not really, Kakashi replied, his voice tinged with amusement. He's exactly like you, Ne-sama, and I'd know I'm his sensei. That is correct, Sandaime chuckled. He's a bigger troublemaker than you were when he was his age. He painted the Hokage monument as a joke, Asuma laughed, shaking his head. He what? Kushina asked, blinking. I painted the Hokage monument, Kakashi said, motioning to the mountain. All the Hokages, and he even gave the fourth a makeover. Minato-kun? Kushina asked, her smile fading. She turned to face the monument. Kakashi cursed himself mentally. He'd had more than a decade to come to terms with the Yondaime's death, but it would be a distant memory for Kushina. You know, Naruto also wants to be Hokage, Sandaime said, attempting to divert Kushina's attention away from painful memories. He does? Kushina brightened immediately. Like parents, like son, she joked. He'll make a good Hokage one day. Unlike when Naruto said it before, no one in the genin snorted or laughed. He's well on his way, Kakashi said, nodding. I heard he just defeated the Ichibi, saving both his teammates and the village. Ichibi? Sasuke inquired, his gaze narrowing. Did that thing have a name? You're referring to the sand monster? Kushina cast a disapproving glance at Sasuke. Don't refer to him as that. But he was a monster, Sakura recalled, shuddering. He was small, but he looked terrifying. He grew bigger later on, Sasuke admitted. Taller than the forest's tallest trees. The other genin's eyes widen at this. There were some massive trees in the forest. It was too much for Ino. Then Naruto could never have defeated him. As Kushina's hair began to flail around her, the temperature rose around them. What do you mean, dear? She inquired, her eyes gleaming red. A nearby ninja screamed, one of many who were watching the strange group in the hospital's courtyard. He appeared to be in his 40s. With a shaking finger, he pointed to Kushina. He shrieked like a girl, it's the red habanero. Run. Many more senior ninja paled after closely inspecting the woman. Many simply fled, leaving a befuddled younger generation behind. As Kushina looked back at the now almost empty courtyard behind her, Sarutobi chuckled and the heavy atmosphere dissipated. Ino was trying to sneak up behind her sensei and use him as a shield. Shikamaru, who lived with his mother, was also impressed. Naruto's mother was terrifying. I think what Ino was trying to say was, Asuma tried to soften the blow. He was well aware of how enraged his sensei could become. It's improbable for a genin to defeat the Ichibi. So what if Naruto is a genin? Scoffed Kushina. He is my son, and Uzumaki will not give up until we win. The genin listened intently. Naruto's determination appears to be an inherited trait. How could he take on something that big? Kiba asked, trying to keep his voice free of the incredulity he was feeling. Sasuke, did you see anything? Sasuke let out a sigh. He was present, so it was up to him to say something or simply lie. When he looked up, he saw Kushina looking at him with concern, and the expression reminded him of his own mother. Sasuke succumbed in a moment of weakness. He said slowly, he summoned a toad. Everyone was paying close attention. A toad summoning? Kushina exclaimed. How did a toad help? Aren't they really small? Ino inquired. Well, this one wasn't, Sasuke said angrily to the girl. He was almost as big as the sand monster and wielded a massive sword. Was it smoking a pipe? Kushina inquired, her voice brimming with excitement. The genin looked at her as if to say, "Are you even listening to what you're saying?" But the elder nin looked at Sasuke, who nodded. "Gamabunta-san," Kushina exclaimed, his eyes wide. "Didn't Naruto summon Gamabunta-san?" Sakura inquired, "Gamabunta? Who exactly is he?" "He's the Toad Contract's boss summon," Kakashi explained to his student. "And," he added, looking up at his sensei, "he is famous for being the Yondaime Hokage's battle mount." The genin appeared surprised. Sakura cast a glance behind her at the blonde in the bed. Kushina stiffened as her gaze was drawn to the full head of sunshine blonde hair. She took a cautious step forward. Is he okay?" she asked, her voice trembling with concern. "He'll be fine," Kakashi assured her softly. "He inherited your ability to heal." Kushina nodded silently when she realized he was referring to the Kyuubi. The others stood there watching as the mother knelt beside her son's bed, her eyes welling up. She knelt down and kissed him on the cheek, causing a tear to fall. The others almost jumped back as Kushina suddenly began to glow brightly. "Kushina-chan," Sarutobi rushed to her side. "What's going on? Is this something Orochimaru is doing?" When the traitor's name was mentioned, the Chunin and Anbu stiffened. "No," Kushina replied softly. "Meeting Naruto has provided me with a sense of peace, causing my soul to lose its forced anchor in this world." "You mean?" Kakashi started but stopped as Kushina ran her hands through Naruto's locks. "It appears I'm leaving you again, Naruto," she said softly and lovingly. "I'm sorry," she said quietly, placing her forehead on top of the unconscious blonde's, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'm truly sorry." Uncomfortably, the other person observed. They were invading the blonde's very private space. "I can't tell you how difficult it was for me last time. You were born barely an hour before your father and I had to fight the Kyuubi." Kushina kissed Naruto's limp hand. "But we have no regrets. I loved you and your father so much that we didn't care if we died saving you." She sniffled and sobbed, "But I was so afraid that we had left you all alone." Kakashi and Asuma bowed their heads, embarrassed. Sarutobi appeared to be in excruciating pain. "And now that I've seen your wonderful friends, I can rest easy." The genin appeared uneasy. They weren't Naruto's friends. They had only seen Naruto as, well, Naruto. Naruto's closest companions were the boys who skipped classes with him. "Now listen," Kushina said as she slowly disintegrated into light, "listen to Kakashi-kun, all right? Don't give him trouble, at least not too much," she sobbed as she hugged his prone form. "Remember, I and your father both love you." Kushina vanished with that final message. The crowd bowed their heads in respect as the girls and Kurenai sobbed openly. The others simply bowed their heads and hid their faces. They were still bowed when a groan directed their gaze to the bed. "Ughh," Naruto grumbled, rubbing his forearm. "Naruto!" Sakura exclaimed as she dashed to his side. "Dobi," Sasuke said, moving to the other side of the bed, his rage and jealousy replaced by concern. "How are you feeling, Naruto?" Sarutobi asked, his voice firm, as he walked up the blonde's bed. "Gigi?" Naruto asked the old man, who returned his smile sadly. "I guess I'm okay." He looked around, surprised to see so many people around him. "What is everyone doing here?" he asked, his eyes widening as he remembered. "Gigi. The village. Is everyone okay? Sarutobi laughed. Exactly like his father. Before anything else, consider the village. Yes, Naruto-kun, he said, lovingly patting the blonde's head. The village is fine now. We took some blows, but we prevailed. That's good, Naruto said, and everyone noticed the resemblance to the red-haired woman who had been there moments before. His demeanor improved. Sarutobi noticed him and gave him a close look. Naruto-kun, what happened? I just had this strange dream. Naruto subconsciously brought his arms closer to himself. It made him appear small and sad. I don't remember much except this really pretty lady with long red hair. Everyone looked at each other. Tell me about her, Naruto-kun, Sarutobi said as he sat on the bed's edge. I can't really remember, Naruto scrunched up his face, struggling to recall. I just remember her hair being very pretty and her being really beautiful, even more than Sakura-chan, he said, not realizing Sakura was standing right next to him. When he realized his error, he panicked and exclaimed, I didn't. Sakura, instead of pounding on him, sobbed and smiled and hugged his head to her stomach. I'm sure she was Naruto, everyone said with a smile.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.